In an ongoing saga of moms gone wild, our fearless Moms for Liberty duo has escalated their literary pursuits by accusing school librarians of distributing child pornography to unsuspecting minors. Apparently, a young adult novel featuring gargoyles battling demons is now deemed as scandalous as a forbidden Playboy magazine. Because, nothing says protect the children like equating a fantastical tale to explicit adult content. So hold on to your bookmarks as Moms for Liberty embarks on their quest to shield the youth from the perils of fiction. Who knew gargoyles could be so provocative? It's fiction, not a crime scene. This story is from Popular Info by Judd Legum on November 6, 2023. And Blatant, I was wondering, what did you make of all this?
Knucking foots. These people are knucking foots. Every time I see one of these stories, I just picture like the lady in a trench coat with dark shades in a payphone booth whispering into the phone, "I've got some evidence of a crime being committed." Like, are you insane? What's wrong with you? Like, this is what not having a life or anything of value to offer society. This is what that looks like. Because the book in question, it's Storm and Fury. And that makes it so much funnier because it's not only not ridiculously not porn. It's so far from it. But it's a book where the main character fights demons. I thought that was y'all whole thing, moms. I thought that was y'all thing. What is this? One day, like in their strenuous search for demons, they're going to realize the call is coming from inside the house. But my favorite thing is she, like the woman in question that made this call, she stated that any book that has a sex scene is pornography and not appropriate for minors. But then she went on to say that there may be exceptions for extreme classics.
Yeah.
What would we consider an extreme classic?
Boy, yeah.
You have to say that because there is a book that I think it's been described as what was it? The basic instructions. The basic instructions before leaving Earth, something like that. It's
something like that. Somebody told me that.
Like that. Yeah, one of those books. Something I heard it somewhere.
Very obscure. We never heard of this book at all.
If you come across it, just
written by some Italian guy.
I think his name was Matteo Mancini. I think
that's him. That's the guy.
Yeah.
He's an editor.
He's an everything. But it's like one of the most depraved books in human history, but we're going to excuse that. Like there are books that we've all read that are part of just American curriculum as a whole. Romeo and Juliet. It's more pornographic than Storm and Fury could ever dream of being, but you don't see any mom or any liberty fighting against Romeo and Juliet.
Give it time. Give it time.
Those are classics.
Like, you don't live in Florida.
You know what? I will take that back because Florida is it's a very special place. It's a very special place. I live in Japan. I can't even read half their books here. So, but I don't think Moms of Liberty would object to them because they couldn't read them either. So that's really all I can say about it is that these people are knucking foots. Helen, what do you got?
Oh, again with Florida, I like every time I do the show, there's a Florida story, and it makes me so crazy. It makes my teeth itch. Like, it drives me insane. Because this is not only happening in the county where this article is from, this is happening in my city. So there are women out there very concerned about, I don't know, gargoyles fighting demons, I guess. Oh no, scandalous. And I remember back in the olden days of the 1990s where teen genre fiction wasn't a thing. And I was reading like Stephen King and Dean Koontz and a bunch of other authors where there was sex and violence and people getting their eyeballs torn out. And I'm 14 and my parents didn't give two craps. Did not care. They were like, she's reading. That's great. So the fact that these Moms for Liberty people are walking around saying that, if even the mention of sex, the mention of queer people, anything like that is pornographic is beyond insane. And I would like to remind all those people that are deeply concerned about the morality of children, they have the internet. Pornhub is a thing. So I'm just going to say, maybe you're kind of backing the wrong horse right now. It's a little bit of a problem. So, and also I would like to point out that these women in this particular group is trying to protect children. But the thing is, though, they're just doing it for the well-being of the kids. And like, as a mother, I would not like books banned. So where's our ability to voice that and push that agenda? Oh, guess what? No, we don't get to do that. So I definitely have more things to say, but I'm not going to rant. I'm going to go hand it over to Scott again over here.
This
and
is
he's going to say words.
I don't know if did any of you watch the video clip of the body cam of that? I mean, I swear that if they were speaking with British accents, I would have thought it was a Monty Python sketch. I was waiting for the cop to start saying, "But it's a dead parrot." Right? I was waiting for. I knew it was coming. I was waiting for the shoe to drop. It was. They had their quote unquote. The guy kept saying evidence. He kept using the word evidence and pornography. Like he read somewhere that he looked up the ways to be influential on the internet or something and said repetition. Oh, that usually works really well. And so if he says pornography and evidence enough, they had an envelope there, and it didn't say this, but I expected it to say just pornography evidence, just written on the envelope right there. Here's your evidence. And it's just a ridiculous situation. Like BB was saying, clearly this book is not pornography in any way, shape, or form. I haven't read it, but in the article it talked about how
about gargoyles fighting demons. Scott,
well, there was some scenes where there was some kissing happening, and there was another scene where they almost were going to have sex or something like that.
Ooh, you didn't mention that.
And that's it, right? And that's the pornography is like the worst pornography ever. If they were looking for pornography, they should get their money back on that. But
that's a bad deal.
But I did see that it seemed like, now they didn't say this in the article, but it seemed like the police were kind of not doing anything about it. Like it was like, okay, well, we'll take down your complaint, and oh yeah, we got leads all over the place, and we're going to be cracking down, and then just nothing, because they did say that the popular.info, right, that it was their article, they followed up on that, and they found that the book had not been put on moratorium or whatever they call it, where they put the book on, they set it aside while it's being investigated. This particular school district and county had a policy of, if they're investigating potential pornography in a book like this that's available for children, they set it aside for 5 days while they're working on it, and that hadn't been done. And so it sounds like the police are taking it as seriously as they should. They have these people coming in, with their envelope full of evidence, and they're like, yep, okay, we got it. Thank you very much. We'll let you know, and we'll keep you posted. And so it's I don't know. It just seems like a silly situation all around. But I'm looking forward to the day.
Stupid silly.
I'm looking forward to the day when the Church of Satan takes this up and they start reporting churches for pornography, saying, "Oh, here's our manila folder full of evidence." Take down our story. Infidel, what enlighten us on this? What can you add here?
Well, I don't know how much I could say from a secular perspective, but I do know that one thing that's woefully inadequate and missing from this is a good, godly Christian man's perspective. So,
I wish they would just let him speak. Just, let's hear from the man.
What the hell are you doing, woman? What the hell are you doing, woman? How dare you? Your place isn't in public bringing shame to your family. You should be home cooking and having more kids. Mm-hmm. You're taking the place of a man. Oh, wait. No. I saw Handmaid's Tale. I know how this could end up, but sorry, I couldn't carry that on any further. Sorry, Helen. That was bothering me just to say it. But
I-
seriously, you know,
I forgive you.
Incidentally,
do-
Handmaid's Tale,
Blessings,
Matteo
blessings,
Mancini.
infidel blessings.
Who would have thunk it?
I do hope that people in that bubble see how bad she represented them. Not, you know, and admittedly, at first I watched the video and I laughed. I was insultingly laughing about it. But you know, as I thought about it, I had to step back. You know, it was a reminder that whether I agree or not, which obviously I don't, she's dead wrong. She was sincere in the belief that caused her to get up and get out of bed and get dressed and go there that day. And for her to be so poorly misled so easily, and not only that, but just to call this child pornography because a child has access to what she views as pornography, shows such a disconnect from reality that I'm really hoping that this is something that other people can see, feel that little bit of cringe that makes you go, oh, and cause them to examine them having the same bad beliefs. Because it's not possible for me to believe that there are that many moms out there who really believe some of the terrible things this organization promotes. I think more likely you have moms that go, yeah, that sounds right, and they go from there. Now, one good thing is, you know, and we talked about, you know, big projects like Project 2025, but this is their real goal right here, to undermine public education in this country. It really is their end all be all, because if they can control education, they've got everything under control. That's all they have to do. And they're working really hard to put that money in the private religious schools. But what I was really heartened by is their just absolutely stellar performance here recently. They managed to lose in Pennsylvania, Iowa, Virginia, Minnesota, and New Jersey. I think that people are finally realizing that what they're calling parental rights isn't parental rights at all. What it really means is book bans, anti-LGBTQ, and of course, really an attempt to not allow teachers to be teachers and teach in our public schools. But with that, it looks like so far people are starting to turn away from that and say thanks, but no thanks. And I really hope that that's something that we can see continue, because they just absolutely got slaughtered in this past performance. There was no bright side. In fact, they had a page where they were going to celebrate their victories. Well, now it's under construction, and the one where they were endorsing people somehow disappeared. It just went off into, you know, wherever those kind of things go that you don't talk about anymore. Once again, maybe that brings back that Italian
It's
guy's
the
book,
internet gremlins, I'm
1984.
sure.
Yeah, our gremlins. That's always a chance. Now, Blatant, do you have any better ideas on where this may have went, this page?
It definitely disappeared into obscurity, just like Matteo. But like the thing
our
I
Mateo's
love,
gonna think we're keep talking about him.
wow, I wasn't even on this week. What is happening? But like the thing that kills me with these things is like I grew up in the 90s and I used to watch all these shows like on like all the kid shows, Nickelodeon, Disney, all these shows. And they would always have like the weird kid with the powers and they'd be doing stuff. And there's the lady across the street with binoculars staring and saying, nobody will believe me. And this the first episode she sees it and she tells her husband, he tells her to shut up. And then by the fifth season, this woman is pulling her hair out because she's seeing this alien who's pretending to be a kid just running around and she doesn't know what to do. This is how I see Moms for Liberty, but there's no alien. Like they're literally just watching kids play and freaking the fuck out about it. Like that's literally how I see these people. And it's insane. And what Helen was talking about earlier, like being a parent with a child in school, where the fuck is my voice? I think the difference between us and them is that they're just louder because they don't have that built-in mechanism that says, no, we live in a society, this isn't what we do. It's just, no, I'm going to be louder and louder and louder.
Right.
And thank Zeus, just like Infidel was saying, it's not working. So that's all I've got to say on the subject. Again, knucking foots. And I'll send it back to Helen. Sorry.
I do. So I will want to point out that the Southern Poverty Law Center has named Moms for Liberty as a hate group, and it's with very good reason. The SPLC describes this group as Moms for Liberty is a far-right organization that engages in anti-student inclusion activities and self-identifies as part of modern parental rights movement. The group grew out of an opposition to public health regulations for COVID-19, opposes LGBTQ+ and racially inclusive school curriculum, and has advocated book bans. Okay, I'm going to call out the bigotry, Duck. Here's the bigotry. I'm going to call it out. Some bigotry just going on. It's cracking, mofos. And that's their goal. Like, we're laughing at this because it is ridiculous, calling the police over a freaking book. Like, you lost your damn mind. Like, really. But we have to remember they are part of the far right that don't want people to have rights, that they want to live in this insular world where everybody is white and hetero and cis, and and they read the good book, and and nothing bad has happened. We talked earlier about Christian revisionist history. These are the type of people that are driving it into the schools. Now it is ridiculous. I find it hilarious that this blew up in their faces, and I'm glad that there's a little bit of common sense going on. I'll take it. But these are the type of people where, as you said, they get loud. They are not getting the attention, and they're not used to people just like, being reasonable and being like, well, I won't let my kid read that book, but it's okay for other children to read that book because that's not my child. Like, that's the reality I would like to live in. Mm-hmm. But no, it's not about the kid. This is not about the kids. This is all about pushing an agenda. And that's what makes this so insidious and disgusting. And I want to emphasize this. They are a hate group. They're silly. They're very silly, but they're a hate group. So anyway, I did my ranting, and I could probably do more, but this is a collaborative show. So I'm going to send it over to Scott.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, okay. All right. So it's easy for us to point and laugh and to say how ridiculous this is and to say this is silly and to make Monty Python jokes and stuff. But I think if we want any kind of actual change to happen, it's going to have to come within the Christian community and the for liberty community, right? And so, like Infidel was saying, there's got to be people within their group or within their circle of friends or within their moms clubs or whatever, within their circle of people that just have to realize how stupid this is. I mean, it has to be registering. And so to those people, I would just say, please, if you recognize how ridiculous this kind of reaction is, say something or do something, or at least stop agreeing, stop going along with it. It's for all of us. The public school system, the rising tide raises all ships, they say. If we start undermining this for little personal preferences and what I want, and everybody has to think like me and that kind of stuff. No, we need to embrace the diversity. We need to embrace different opinions. We need to embrace, all perspectives. And so, this is not going to end well. I mean, it's not going to end well. It's either going to work itself out or catastrophe. One of those, this is not going to be Jesus land. Okay. It's just, too many of us know too much and are too aware of what's going on for this to happen. And so I don't know. Somebody else take it. I'm getting all flustered.
One thing I really
I gotta
find
keep you on your
hopeful
toes, man.
is the fact that they fared so poorly recently at their most recent outing. And seeing someone like her become the forefront, even briefly, as the poster child for how to not be a good mom, regardless of how you feel about it, you're making a mockery of education. And I hope that she's able to see this as well and go, maybe I'm thinking this for the wrong reasons. I'm not hopeful, but I am hopeful that others like her will. And that's the thing where I continue to say, maybe this is one of those that they're going to not get what they want, because as we know, when they get what they want, almost without fail, they end up screwing it up. They end up doing the wrong thing because they're really bad at governing. They're not good at this. They're good at screaming. They're good at yelling. They're good at demonizing people. They're good at bringing out the worst in people. But what they're not good at is consensus building, at constructing something that's better. That they have no experience. That's not even in their mind. So I'm hoping that a few of these, chalk these up, and let's go ahead and start pushing the moms for liberty where they belong. And let's talk about actual liberty. And it doesn't have to be moms or dads or whatever. Let's just shoot for liberty. And let's actually mean it, instead of that being a buzzword for liberty for me at, well, those people's expense. Blake, did you have anything to finish up with this?
I'll keep it short. Just I guess add on to a little bit of what I was saying when I'm saying they're the loudest people in the room because that's what they're comfortable with.
Yep.
Regular people, like I guess us, that makes us uncomfortable to be that loud. But if you want to combat that, sometimes you're going to have to be uncomfortable. And I think that's what's going to be necessary moving forward, for us to just have a little bit of discomfort so we can help push these people where they're supposed to be, like Infidel said. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on it.
So I'm going to leave everybody with this question. Do you find gargoyles offensive? As you think on that, consider clicking one of our wonderful videos that is above me and contemplate that decision. Have a great night.